Welcome to Yeshiva Daf. Yeshiva sponsor Lunish Pasam Yakashom Leabasitzchok. We're holding Metzia Daf Samich, the last Daf of Perek Azov, starting the Mishnah from Tesla base on the bottom. So the Mishnah. Ain't there having payers be payers. A person should not go and mix fruits and fruits. Afilu chadoshim chadoshim. Even new fruits with new fruits. Says the Mishnah Samich Udaf. Of course, you should not mix new with old. What is that for? Two says Rashi. Pasaktim korlu yishonim. He made up. He's going to sell old wheat to make flour. They dry. They make much more flour. So new and new. The point is, even though he said, "What do you care? We're doing this both. The more fresh wheat. If I said to do X, don't give me Y. Koshken, don't give me a different type, a low quality." Really, he said, and the Gemara is going to explain what does be'emes mean. By wine, you're allowed to kosher barach. What does it mean? That as Rashi says, because we're talking about. Sorry, Rashi says kosher meshbiach esarach. The harder wine the harder grapes make the softer ones better. So therefore, you can put kosher barach. So Rashi knows you can do it only to make it better. As the Vilna Gaon points out here, other Rishonim argue, but we're going to stick to the pshat of Rashi. Pei makes it better. Ain't marrying shimri yain behind. Now let him mix a sediment of wine with another wine. Aval noisen loy is shmarov, but you could give the shmarim to a person who bought the wine. Mishis arev mayim beyainoi loy kereda b'chanos. Someone who has water that's mixed up with the wine, he should not sell it in the store. Meaning, you're supposed to sell pure wine. You have water with the wine, don't sell it. Unless he had told him, you should know there's water in here. But don't give it to a wholesaler. I'll be sure you deal. Well, what is the target going to do? The target is a wholesaler. He's going to take this wine, he's going to sell it to somebody else. He's not going to tell them there's mixed up water over here. So someone that you're saying to the end seller, just tell them there's water here so you're not causing any problem here. But if you're giving it to a talgar, so then you're not allowed to sell it to a wholesaler, which a retailer. If it's the minhag, that's okay. A target take from 5 different granaries and put it into one place, because everybody knows that it's expected he's buying from different places. For 5 different wineries and put it into one place. As long as he doesn't have a kavanah to take bad quality and put it into good quality and dilute it. It just mixes up with that cheshbon. Don't tell me that can mix up newer tefillah with older tefillah even if the newer one is more expensive, right? The older one is more expensive. You buy 3 for Sela, and the newer one you buy 4 for Sela, so it's cheaper. So don't mix up the one which is the better quality and more expensive with the lower one. If you want to tell me the opposite, that the newer ones are more expensive than the older ones. Sometimes a person's interest is, I want to buy the fresh ones because I want to leave it for a longer time. So even though maybe it's better quality, maybe it's more expensive, I want right now this. Don't switch what we made up. Says the Gemara, and it says be'emes. This told us. Called be'emes omer. Whenever it says be'emes, halacha, it's halacha. So now, it's interesting because the Yerushalmi brings, every time it says be'emes, it's halacha l'moshe b'sinai. Here he can't say halacha l'moshe b'sinai. It's no goyla. So I want to say here, it's a special thing. It's not the regular halacha l'moshe b'sinai. So if it says be'emes and it's not halacha l'moshe b'sinai, it's the halacha l'moshe. I'm not going to bring a gisui shonu. When can you mix it between the gisui? The gisui is when you sell the wine. You can do it between the gisui, but not during the gisui. But today they do it not in between. Everybody knows about it and they're moich. Raka says anything you can taste is fine. That you can taste, you'll see the difference. If you don't mix up the sediments, but you can give them the sediments. Classes, don't mix it up. Maybe just announce it. I'm giving you the sediments. It says later in the Mishnah, you can sell it and announce it. But if not, you don't mix the sediments in the wine. What it says over here is the following. Don't mix up yesterday's wine with today's wine, and not today's wine with yesterday's wine. Right? That's what it means. Meaning, as Rashi, the way Rashi learns, yesterday today doesn't mean yesterday today. It means two different barrels. Don't take the shemarim of one barrel and put it with another barrel, because they ruin the new barrel. I have a no similar choice. You can give the sediments of this specific barrel that you could give. Someone who spills, who pours wine to his friend clean. Don't mix up the sediments of one barrel with another. But you could mix up the ones of the same day, the same barrel, that you could give the sediments of the barrel and give it to the one who sells it to. If you have water, you only announce it to the wholesaler your account. Rava, they brought him wine from his store. Mazge, he put water into it. Tami tasted it. Loya bosim, didn't like the taste. Shadri l'chanun, he said, send it back, they should sell to somebody else. Don't sell to the wholesale, to the store baker. I'll be sure idea because he's going to sell to somebody else without telling him. Only Mazge Didi made the idea. My mezigo, everybody knows that's mazug. As Tais points out over here, we know that Rava used to mix 3 portions of water with 1 portion of wine, while everybody else used to do only 2 portions of water with 1 portion of wine. So Rava is much more diluted, people recognize it. Maybe what's going to do is the owner will add more wine, and he will make it, they won't see that it's the Rava's Mezika. Meaning, as Rashi points out, you have to be choishish not to sell something the person can cheat with. If the person can take that and mix with something else, and cheat with something else, that's not your responsibility. Because then don't sell water because you can put the water into wine. Don't sell wine because you put water into it. You can't do that cheshbon. You just don't sell an item which the item itself is something you could cheat with. So wherever they mix water with wine is okay. Tano lemechza l'shlish ravia, depends on the places. Do half, quarter, or a third. Again, being a gisos, you do that only between the gisos, and you don't do it, as Rashi says, let's read the Rashi before, so between the gisos, it's still boiling, it's still bubbling. So similar over here, the mixture of the water you do while the water is still bubbling, and not when it rests. So the Mishnah. A chedvoni should not give candy, because vegoizim means dried wheat, and vegoizim is walnuts, to kids. They give them candy, they're going to come to him, they're going to bring the parents. Say it's fine. So why? As we'll see in the Gemara, you want to give candies, someone else has a problem, then you should give candies as well. You should now lower whatever the cost is. If people sell wheat for a certain amount, don't sell for less. Very good if he sells it for less. So you make everybody sell for less. He should not go and clean up the grisim, which are the lentils. He should not do it. As Abba shows, Chacham says he could do it. And the reason why Chacham say not say Rashi list if he should be should near himself is because it looks nice. He causes to sell for much more. In other words, Abba says, I know what you're going to do. You're going to take out the dirt. Now, the dirt is decreases, makes a value of 10%. That's clean. But you're going to sell for 50%. So I don't want you to do that. The Chacham says you could do it. Don't just clean the top ones. Say the whole thing is clean. Because then you're basically stealing from people. Don't do something that makes the Adam, we'll see in the Gemara, the mefarkasi means you make a person look nicer, or which talk about a slave, or an animal look nicer, or a clay look nicer, which really doesn't really look that nice. Meaning don't make something deceive people by taking an item, making it look better than what it really is. So the Gemara. What's the reason Rabbanon? Meaning, we're talking about the beginning of the Mishnah. Mishnah said The grocer is giving candies to kids. Everybody comes to him. So everyone say, yeah, the competition has a problem. They should give other candy. Right? Rashi says shizki is prunish, a type of fruit. Right? He gives something, you give something else. If you lower the price, my time is about the reason upon says the Gemara, Mishum without the Samach with base, the Kamar Vechataro. He's causing people to sell things for cheaper than what it is. Not to clean the lentil. Anything that you can see, so it's fine. So what's going on over here? He's going to tell a person, this is clean greasim, I'm selling to you for 50% more. You don't want it? Take the dirty ones, and you'll do it yourself. A person is willing to overpay in order to avoid the tircha of cleaning it up. You don't make people look better. What does it mean? So Rashi says that you take you stretch out the hair of the behemo so she should look fat. Karvaim is the bnei is the feet, is the meat that you sell. Don't inflate it to look better. Don't put meat into water for a long time because it looks better than what it is. What does it mean? Which means you give her Rashi says subim, water which bran water, and that makes her inflate the animal. Which is that you make the hair stand up. Shmuel allowed to put on a type of clothing to put what Rashi says tlai michuti meshi, like silk. Add silk to the clothing, looks a little better. That's fine. Rabbi Yudah shori lekiskusei karmi, which means to clean up the karmi, which is a type of clothing which is colored, to clean up in a certain way that look very shiny. Rabbi shori lemidak tzardi, which means is to go tzardi is big canvas that we're learning about it before. It's like more thicker clothing, and to press it very strongly so it looks thin. Rabbi shari letzelume geri, which means to color arrows on the clothing. To color the baskets. So we just learned not to do all these things. What does it mean? If it's new, it's good because you're just adding to the beauty. It's beauty, it's new, and you make it even nicer. But atiki that you want to take something that looks old and make it look new, it's awesome. In other words, anytime you try to deceive somebody, it's awesome. But you're not doing it to deceive anybody. You're just doing it to make it more beautiful. That's fine. Says the Gemara, Pirkus do Adomai. What does it mean to do with Farkas of Ado? Ki hadahu avdo sabo. There was this old slave. Dozot sabi lireshi. He went and colored his hair, and his beard. He called his hair and beard. Also, Kamei Rov. He came in front of Rov. Amalei Zivnon. Buy me. Purchase me. Amalei you aniyecho bnei beisecho. Says, I prefer to use my money to give it to Ani. Also, Kamei Rov Bashmuel. He went to Bava Shmuel. Zabni. So he purchased him. Yom Echad, Omalei, Ashkayin Mayo. Please pour me water. Ozol, Achav Dikni. He went and cleared up the paint that he had on his hair and beard. And he saw him he's very old. Omalei Chozodani, Koshish Me'abuch. I'm older than your father, he told him. Korean of Shei called himself Tzadik Metzor Nechlotz V'yavo Acher Tachto. Tzad gets out of Tzara, and someone else, the Pasuk really says V'yavo Rosh Tachto. But he says V'yavo Acher Tachto, someone else goes instead. What does it mean? So, two Nekudas will be able to understand this last case of the Gemara. Number one is that which Eved we're talking about. Rashi says we're talking about Eved Knaini. Why Eved Knaini? Because Rashi says Eved Ivri, we don't have Eved Ivri today. After the Yovel, there's no Eved Ivri. Today that we don't have Eved Ivri, don't have Yovel, don't have Eved Ivri. That's what Rashi learns. Other Rishonim argue the same way there is Eved Ivri today, and they have a problem with Rashi saying Eved Knaini, because how can Eved Knaini sell himself? If his Eved Knaini belongs to somebody. And if his release is release. So what does it mean he sold himself? So that's a hard thing to understand in Rashi. Another thing is problem to understand. What happened? He said very old. So therefore what? So Mishra Eved Ivri, we know they have to treat Eved Ivri with respect. And Knaini is only to treat him with respect. So then the first answer that the Eved Knaini story, Pshat is that, right, even though he's Eved Knaini and he could work him, but at the end of the day it says that you have to respect old people, even if the old people are going. So he could have worked him, but he's still old, so you want to respect him. Now, what is the pasuk that Rabbi Shmuel said? So the way Rashi learns the pshat is that Rava, the Eved came to Rava, tried to trick him to sell him to Rava. Sell to Rava. Rava said no. HaKadosh Baruch Hu saved Rava from this tzara. And who got bit with this tzara? The one who got bit, the one who got hurt, was a Papa Shmuel. So Papa Shmuel says about himself, Rava was the tzaddik, he was saved from this problem. Me, I was not saved from the problem. So, it's tzaddik mitzvah nechlatz Rava got out of the tzara, v'yover achtacht, and I came and replaced Rava, I'm the one suffering. The problem is that the pasuk said v'yover rosh tachtot. That's what the pasuk, not v'yover achtacht. So it could be a good to Rashi very meduk. He changed the pasuk a little bit to say I'm not a Rasha, but I'm the one who replaced the tzaddik. The Ben Yehoyada doesn't like it because it says at the end of the day the pasuk says Rasha, and is Rapal B'Shmuel calling himself a Rasha. So therefore he says the pshat is like this. Rapal B'Shmuel is talking about himself, and he's saying like this: I know that I got this tzara from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's a replacement for another tzara. And the Ben Yehoyada brings a story about a person was learning Torah, and then he was bit by a scorpion. And his wife comes and tells him, I don't understand. So first of all, they left the room right away because the scorpion was there. They want to bid the wife and kids. As they leave the room, the wife tells the kid, her husband, you're learning Torah. Why did Torah not protect you? And a second later, the room where they were collapsed. The whole room. He says, you see, that's why I was bit by the scorpion. Because if it would not be by the scorpion, we would continue learning, we all would die. So the Torah would protect us. So it says Rapal B'Shmuel, he says, sometimes HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to save a tzaddik, so he gives him a small tzara to have, so he won't have a bigger tzara. He says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to give me the tzara of this Eved, the slave that doesn't want to work, he can't make it work. This is to save me from a much bigger tzara. Very happy HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave me this tzara. It was for me. He is the one. Somebody else will get the big tzara. He got a small tzara instead. And this, we end this very chashuv parak Hazov, Hadra Chazov Be'ez Hashem. Now the emphasis, the Amud goes on, continues here. But because there's a new parak Ezu Neshech, very important parak, I want to start the parak in the next daf. So we'll stop over here. Be'ez Hashem, the next daf will start from beginning of Ezu Neshech with a little bit of Hagdama of the Inyan of Ribis and the Inyan of what Ezu Neshech is talking about. Kol Tuv and a good Yontiv.